Okay, hello, welcome to the Anything Literally podcast. This week we're going to try something different. We're going to cover some tech news. I know everybody's excited for that, so let's get straight into it. Harry, what is our first article?
So I saw this just before I started looking at the notes we made for this episode. I was looking at Twitter and I saw this appear on trending. I thought, well, I have to put it in because this is the craziest, most exciting, breaking piece of news I've seen all decade. It is SPINACH sending emails.
So how is this SPINACH sending the emails?
So I had it's coming from Euronews. That's where this source is from, and it's about engineers at MIT in the US, and they've basically taken spinach, the food you eat, spinach, and basically use nanotechnology and put sensors into them, basically, and that they can detect explosive materials. And they say it can detect the presence of nitroaromatics in the groundwater, which are often used in explosives like landmines. And then once the carbon nanotube has gone, oh, there is something there, it will then send a signal, which then an infrared camera will pick up, which will then send an email over to our dear friends, the scientists.
That is impressive.
So, basically, if you ever had a war where you need some landmines and they place them down, you go, well, I didn't make a note of where they are like we did most of the world. What you do is get a helicopter, plant a bunch of spinach, and then bam, you know where they all are. No need
How
to
long
use
do you have
rats.
to wait for the spinach to grow?
SPINACH would take
just
a couple of months.
don't go in that area. I don't know. But then they also, just further down the article, which I think is a much more interesting bit, which they've just completely ignored in the title, is they've said that if they convert the spinach into carbon nanosheets, it can function as a catalyst to help make metal air batteries and fuel cells, which are more efficient than lithium-ion batteries. And obviously, it always says lithium-ion batteries are, inherently they are bad for the environment because you've got to mine lithium. And if we can use spinach to help us make metal air batteries, bing bash bosh, Tesla's going to be the next big thing with them, right?
Yeah.
Fair enough.
There you go. That's
That
my
really
spinach
interesting,
topic. You guys can go talk about important news now.
In all fairness, this kind of sciencey sort of things, it is quite important to like the development of new technologies and stuff because it can lead on to some quite interesting things.
Yeah, nanotechnology is like the next big thing, I would say.
Yeah. Well, in technology, everything always seems to get smaller and smaller and smaller. So developing nanotechnologies is always quite a big area in technology.
I remember I watched a video a few years ago of this scientist guy trying to make a lightsaber, and obviously, like the hacksmith has done it now, but that was using gas. He basically designed a lightsaber that you kind of like it flicks out, and then it uses plasma. But the whole problem, of course, is the fact of power. And he basically theorized if he had nano batteries, which are, it's a totally realistic thing. It's just we can't make them really right now. He could easily power this lightsaber, and I really want it. So we need to make these things.
Yeah, the hacksmith video was really interesting with the with their lightsaber because you have to obviously have a backpack on to provide is it gas?
Yeah, they're using
whatever.
hydrogen and oxygen in they're using, what is it called? You know when you're pouring water and it looks like the water isn't moving?
Laminar flow.
That's the one, yeah. They use two gas valves that use that effect, and they spread, mix the oxygen and hydrogen together, and then they spark it basically, and there, they got a lightsaber.
Nice.
Very
those valves are
all
like
of a sudden.
$2,000 each.
But that whole hacksmith channel is really interesting because obviously we play a lot of games and they're bringing that to life. So
Yeah, they
this is
made
an
Blitz's
interesting
shield
channel.
from Rainbow Six Siege. That was quite interesting, seeing how they made the flash and how they made it not overheat and that sort of thing.
Right, I think we should
Very sciencey
move on to
stuff.
the news instead of talking to hacksmith.
I like video games.
Okay, so after Harry's spinach story, we're going to talk about the whole Robin Hood and Reddit and stock trading and all that situation. Because if you're living under a rock, you might not know about this. So
normal people
over
crash the stock market, boys.
Yeah, over the last how many weeks, Harry? Like 2? No,
It's
maybe
like a
less
week.
than that.
It's like
a
last
week.
week, I think. I never really paid attention to what date it was. I think it was last week. Days just fly past nowadays.
So the Wall Street, what's it called? What's the Reddit page called again? It's
Wall
Street
Bets,
Bets.
isn't it?
Bets.
So yeah, Wall Street Bets on Reddit decided that they were going to team up and they were going to ruin, or not really ruin, they're going to
basically
buy.
ruin.
Yeah, they're going to buy a lot of stock in places like GameStop in the US. So they. Harry, do you want to explain this? Because you're the financial analyst.
You're the
here at
money
end of the
person.
day.
Basically, big hedge funds were shorting and then basically rebuying stocks like GameStop so they could basically buy it back at a cheaper price and make money and stuff. But and obviously that was bad because, well, it's not. Shorting itself is a very normal thing. It happens all the time in the stock market. You kind of need it. But basically, the guys at Wall Street Bets did not like this, and they decided what they'll do is when the hedge funds started shorting it, and they short big time. Obviously, they're hedge funds; they're using billions of pounds. Basically, they got a ton of people just to buy into it. Then what happened was these hedge funds will then have to start buying into that stock as well, because if they didn't buy into it, they're going to lose a ton of money. And of course that surged even more. People kept buying, and then these hedge funds I got to keep buying and buying just so they don't lose their money as much. And then basically it skyrocketed all the way up. And yeah, that is essentially how they did it. And then you had a lot of financial, I can't think of the name, people who run this stuff, they freeze it. The stock exchange, that's the word I was looking for.
Yes.
Stock exchange, yeah.
I think if I remember correctly, I wasn't really paying too much attention to it when it was happening. I was playing Star Wars instead. And they basically put a freeze on GameStop, and a lot of other apps like Free Trade or Trading 212, I believe, also did it. They basically froze it so you couldn't buy into these stocks because it was too volatile, essentially.
Yeah, which some people didn't like because they took that as the trading apps were stopping poor people with less money investing in stock, where the wealthy hedge funds and all that can still invest. It was taken the wrong way by a lot of people.
Well, essentially like saying, oh, we're going to help the rich people here. And the guys that we've always told, oh, yeah, invest, it makes you rich. And as soon as they start doing it, no, you don't do this now, block.
Yeah.
Yeah. I saw a really good thing on Twitter explaining the whole shorting thing for anybody that doesn't understand it. So basically, when you short, you are borrowing a stock that is, say this stock is valued at £10, Great British pounds. Somebody's borrowing that. Yep. Borrowing that stock and then predicting the market to go down. So then they sell the stock. Or no, they sell the stock straight away. They wait for the market to go down, and then they buy back the stock for like £7, and then they keep the £3. What were you going to say, Harry?
Oh, there's apparently also there's a lot of hedge funds apparently cause news and investigations into a company, so they do actually go down as well, allegedly.
Oh, I see. So they're like making it go down.
Yeah, manipulating the market essentially.
Yeah, so I know a lot of YouTubers have taken this to their call for action on this like whole issue. Linus Tech Tips did a dare on his podcast where he said he would 5x the amount of money that he gets donated live on stream.
Yeah, I sent you guys a screenshot of that, didn't I? Of how much he spent in the end. He ended up putting 146 shares into GameStop, which was equivalent to $50,000.
Which is
nuts.
Massively impressive.
I don't know how his wife didn't leave him for that.
They've got money. They're not really short on it.
I think the interesting
50k is still 50k on a volatile market.
Yeah. The interesting things that I've noticed to come out of this was Robinhood, one of the companies caught up in this, sponsored quite a lot of YouTubers back in like 2018 and 19. They were quite a big YouTube sponsor directly with channels. And quite a lot of people have come out now against Robinhood and said that they will never accept a sponsorship from this type of company ever again.
Well,
I think
just look at their Google reviews. Google had to remove hundreds of thousands of reviews because they were 1 star and it was slating them. And Google said they're against their terms of service, but
But I mean,
people aren't happy.
the problem
with
Robin Hood, though, it's 100% understandable of why people are annoyed at them, because they essentially said that we're not going to let you buy into these stocks, even though they had full control over this. And it was all because they thought it was volatile and stuff like that. And the whole point of Robin Hood was to essentially decentralize all this stuff and make it so poor people, common people, people can do this. But then they go, oh, you guys are actually suddenly doing it in big scale. It's hurting the market. We're going to have to stop you. But it's not really hurting the market. It was just hurting the hedge funds.
Yeah.
Yeah, because also like Reddit and Discord nailed down on it, didn't they? I know Reddit got under a load of fire because obviously the group started on Reddit. And I don't know what they ended up doing, but I think they ended up restricting who could post on that Reddit page at one point. And also Discord, I don't know, Discord say it was a server issue because the amount of people that were joining the Wallstreet Bets or Discord page was causing massive Discord issues. But I know a lot of people
Though, to be
allegedly...
fair, Discord servers are pretty unreliable.
Oh yeah, we found that from the past. But Discord allegedly had something to do with that Discord page getting taken down. But we'll never know. Elon Musk on Twitter doesn't help.
No,
That
he
just
doesn't.
makes everything
Twitter
worse
page.
at this point.
But he is taking a break, though. He said today, or was it yesterday, something like that, he was taking a break from Twitter.
It's always good to say
I don't think it'll be that long.
You know, just give him a day.
Well, he tweets about like Bitcoin and it goes up 20%. It doesn't.
Yeah.
Also, when he tweeted about Signal on WhatsApp.
Yeah, 5 hours ago he said off Twitter for a while. Just looking
Yeah.
at his tweets now.
It's interesting how much power big prominent figures have with social media. Like, if they say something, it turns into gospel and thousands of people follow it. It's interesting how much power these people have now developed. Whether they understand how much power they have or not is another question, but they definitely have it now.
Yeah, I mean, like currently, hashtag Bitcoin is in his bio. If I remember correctly, that caused a bit of a poof in the market for that.
Yeah. Have you seen in the doc? You'll be able to open this link, but there's a BBC News article where the headline is Elon Musk grills Robinhood boss over GameStop row on Clubhouse. So the whole story is about how Elon Musk and I can't say the guy's name, Vladimir Tenev?
Vladimir
I don't know
Tenev, yeah.
Tenev, were on Clubhouse having a conversation, and Elon Musk starts getting a bit angry at him, let's just say.
Oh, you know, he does that though, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Elon Musk is a very well looked to billionaire at the end of the day. He's one of the richest people in the world. I don't know if he still is, but
No, he's the second now, I believe. But like
But
that second line or the second paragraph, sorry, on the article there, it says Mr. Tenev denied conspiracies that he was trying to help the hedge funds. It essentially basically mentions what I said a moment ago about how Robinhood was essentially stopping normal people from trading while hedge funds were still able to do it. But that obviously isn't very fair. Just because a hedge fund has more money doesn't mean that they deserve to be able to buy into a stock or sell a stock, and us people can't.
it makes you wonder if it's the billionaires, like the CEO of Robinhood. I know that it's a partnership between two people. If they got pressure from like some of their friends who run hedge funds and some of the people they play golf with, for example, maybe had some influence on them and were like, we need you to help us keep our money. We're losing so much money.
Yeah, I mean, I had a trade in Amazon actually. It was a longer term one. And I had a look at it, and it actually kicked me out because they essentially the provider of this on this app suddenly just said, no, we're not allowing this anymore. No more US stock stuff, and it basically kicked me off it.
Mm.
The whole situation's a bit up and down at the moment. Let us know what you think on the Instagram at Anything Literally Podcast. But should we move on to the next topic?
I do believe we shall move away from the whole fiasco of the stock market.
So WhatsApp, we're not really moving away that far. So what's WhatsApp and Signal? I don't know if you've heard about this, but WhatsApp was in a couple of weeks ago was in a lot of controversy about its whole terms and conditions with privacy in mind.
Share your data.
So
Yeah.
So WhatsApp introduced a new update to their terms and service, which said that your data could be shared with businesses using WhatsApp through Facebook, I believe it was.
So if you had a business on Facebook and you wanted to message the business, Facebook are now pushing for you to use WhatsApp, and that meant they had to change some of the policies about what data got kept on you for Facebook businesses.
I just don't understand why don't they just use Facebook Messenger? I mean,
they have
that
for ages.
And I know because I've messaged businesses with them all the time. But like, why are they changing over to WhatsApp? It doesn't make any sense for them.
To be fair, as somebody that's used the other end of the business Facebook Messenger, it isn't great. Like the side on the business. So like we have Ben Collins Media, we have a business page for getting clients and people seeing our work. I know the messages are so unreliable in their platform.
Yeah.
Like the notification, like you have your personal account, like I have Ben Collins set up to receive said messages, so I never miss them. But sometimes they just don't come through.
Yeah.
It's really...
Why would they?
It's really odd. And I can imagine they've done this because a lot of businesses have like business phones.
Yeah.
So it makes sense for them to message directly onto WhatsApp, onto your phone.
Yeah.
So I sort of get Facebook's view on it. But at the other end of the day, people love WhatsApp because it's encrypted.
Yeah.
Yeah,
They're not
and
meant to be sharing your
like
data.
the fact that WhatsApp, if you want to use it on the PC, you have to have the WhatsApp app for it. But then you have to link your phone, and your phone has to be connected to the same Wi-Fi. And it's so bad. And occasionally, if your phone is like idle for ages and you haven't touched it, and then WhatsApp's suddenly on the PC's going, oh, your phone's not connected anymore, please re-enable it. I was like, well, I haven't moved.
Yeah.
Just haven't touched the phone in ages.
I find that really annoying. But I think it's a part of their whole like privacy thing, isn't it? Having because it's got to be connected to your phone number. So it means I know a lot of people. I was looking into this, getting prepared for this episode of the podcast, and a lot of people love WhatsApp because you can't log in on multiple devices.
Yeah. It's
so like
one device, it links to your phone number.
I was watching an interview and somebody was saying, I love WhatsApp because I can talk privately with like my CFO in my business, and we can talk about like HR issues and stuff like that. But I know somebody isn't going to be viewing it on, say, my iPad in my other room.
Yeah.
Or like it's not going to pop up as a notification on my like anything I've left lying around the office. So I know people love it for that.
Yeah, it makes sense. People like
Privacy's
it for
a big
that.
thing.
But the whole change of
Facebook-
privacy is just dumb. But of course, they said they're pausing it, so it's good.
Well, it's a Facebook company at the end of the day.
Yeah.
They're not really...
Those
they're
Signal.
known for having privacy issues.
I installed Signal at the beginning of all this because Elon
so
Musk
did I.
tweeted it saying use Signal. And I was like, what the hell is Signal?
Yeah.
So I found it, downloaded it, and I've been using it as my default text message app now on my phone, and it's great. I've had no problems with it. Even better than the default app.
Yeah, no,
But I use
haven't been
WhatsApp
using
still,
it that much.
so-
Because I haven't been using it that much because there's not many people on it yet. I have it installed, but I know when Elon Musk tweeted I'm looking at their shares. So their shares went up from 0.42. I'm assuming this is dollars because it's on
US
Google.
dollars.
This is, so $0.42 to, as soon as Elon Musk tweeted, they were up to 38.70.
Yep, that sounds like Elon Musk doing that.
So that's a 400% increase, I believe.
But like
That's
you were saying
nuts.
about the app, no one really on it. I don't know anyone who uses the app. Apparently you do. I know that now. But obviously you're on an iPhone, so I don't think you can do it. But on the Android, you can switch it to being your default SMS service. The same with Facebook Messenger app, but the Facebook Messenger app was always unreliable.
Yeah, you can't do that on iOS.
So right now, it's all it is a ton of text messages. That's all I do on it.
So does your WhatsApp and that go through that as well, or is that...
No, WhatsApp is by itself. It doesn't seem to accept SMS, so it is just WhatsApp.
Okay.
Which allows them to have
we've never had that
end-to-end
feature on iOS.
encryption. Because they don't use the SMS stuff.
Yeah. I mean, SMS by itself isn't very secure.
No.
No, like, I know iMessage is quite secure because Apple are all about privacy.
Yeah.
But it's hard to tell sometimes if you're sending an iMessage or a text message because the only difference is the colour of the message. And sometimes if an iMessage can't send, it will send as a text message. It's Apple's whole
but that
ecosystem
whole
is a bit
privacy
odd like
there
that.
of Apple brings nicely on to the next topic about Apple and privacy.
Wow, segues. Well done, lads.
Yeah, we are brilliant at these. So Facebook is currently annoyed at Apple. This was published in December. However, we're bringing it up now because it works nicely into this episode. So essentially, with the iOS 14.4 coming out, it's essentially when apps come on, they say, oh yes, do you want this app to track you? You say yes or no, and then they give you a reason of why they want to track you. So, you get personalized ads. And of course, Facebook does not like this. And we can imagine why Facebook does not like this. They love personalized ads. However, they issued basically a statement saying that 44% of small to medium businesses started or increased their usage of personalized ads on the social media during the pandemic. And they also found from a study that the average small business advertiser stands to see a cut of over 60% in their sales for every dollar they spend. And obviously, for a small company, especially during a crisis like now, that is a lot of money. I mean, Facebook did say it would affect larger companies like them. However, it would be devastating to smaller companies, and it would be. That's the whole thing. It would be devastating to small companies.
Yeah.
On the other hand, though, Facebook could just remove its 30% cut.
Well, then they won't make lots of money then, will they?
Yeah. I see both sides of this argument because we've advertised on Facebook before.
Yeah.
It's very useful.
It increases
you get a lot of views.
Your reach increases massively with it.
I don't mind personalized ads. As a consumer, I do not mind them.
I don't mind personalized ads.
It's like saying, hey, this ad is going to be targeted towards you. You might actually find this product or service useful. You might actually buy it. Here you go. Or I'm going to get this random ad that has nothing to do with me, which I definitely will not buy. And it's a waste of money for the company and a waste of time viewing for me. So I'd much rather have my data given to these companies. I don't really care that much. It's going to help me.
I care about, I don't mind the personalized ads. It's very useful. Like, if you're looking for, clothes, it will advertise clothes. Like, we look for speakers that advertise the speakers, etc. But at the end of the day, it's the ones where you message on or you're messaging somebody a link, and it knows what you're it will look at that through Facebook as well.
See, I've never had that.
I've had that quite a lot. If you have Facebook open, especially,
because I use Facebook Messenger
cookies
to talk to people all the time. Like, I've got it open right next to Discord right now, and I always, the most random stuff on there, but all the time talk about one item for a very long time. Like yesterday, I was talking to Tristan about the M.2, and I noticed no real difference in the advertising thing. And obviously other things we're just also talking about in there. I mean, obviously the M.2 did come on to my advertising because I bought one yesterday. So obviously Amazon's going to be like, oh, have this, have this, have this. But the other things we talked about never appeared. So, I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know we don't know because it might be them working with specific companies to share cookies or buying cookies and stuff like that.
Maybe.
But the whole privacy issue is a massive issue, I know, to some people especially.
Yeah, they don't like their data being shared, and it makes sense. I understand why, but I don't care.
I see Apple's side of it because I'm under the impression you should be able to turn it off. So
Yeah.
I reckon, in an ideal world, I would say to Apple that you can add this feature, but leave it as it is by default. So leave it as it is now.
Yeah. I
And
mean,
then
we've
if,
survived
like-
how many years with this already? So what's the problem with changing it?
Yeah, so if you're privacy nerd or whoever needs privacy, they can go in and turn it off.
Yeah.
Turn off the ads or turn off the personalized feature. It should be an option, but I see both sides of the argument because people are going to lose money from it. But at the end of the day,
I guess it
It's
kind of also
privacy.
brings on to the whole, not so much personalized ads, but when you're signing up to a website and they say, "Oh, do you want to sign up to this mailing list?" They have to obviously ask you that. They can't just sign you up to it automatically.
yeah, it's GDPR.
But I guess it's kind of the same thing because I do not want to receive those emails because I will ignore them, 100%.
Mm-hmm.
So it's a waste of time and storage space, even though emails are like tiny space. But you get sent thousands of these things, so
Yeah.
it adds up over time. But these emails, I guess, are the same thing as the ads. People don't want to receive these things automatically. They would rather consent to it and get it. I guess it's the same idea.
Yeah, I think part of the issue is because it's Facebook asking.
Yes,
At the end of the
Facebook.
day.
Everyone
Facebook
seems to
have
hate
a bad
Facebook but use it.
experience. Yeah, with Facebook. But at the end of the day, Facebook own Instagram, WhatsApp, some other stuff. They're a massive company.
I mean, they're
It's like,
Oculus now, don't they?
There they do, yeah.
Yeah.
But it's like when companies, but when like governments or courts, they get really annoyed at people like Google for being a conglomerate and dominating the market and say, "Oh, you're being unfair to this." But when you actually take a step back and actually look at everything and actually have a very open opinion about what's going on, instead of just having a very narrow-minded view, which a lot of these people seemingly do when you read about them, especially on social media, is Google is not really doing the whole dominating the market. They are dominating the market, don't get me wrong. But Bing, Yahoo, and all the other browser searches out there, they're just nowhere near as good. And why would a consumer use a product that is inferior to another?
Yeah, exactly.
And when people get complaining that Google is putting their products ahead of others, well, that makes sense. You would do the same thing. If you released a product, okay, let's say Gmail, just to make it easy, everyone knows what Gmail is. If you type in email mailing services into Google search and Gmail comes up first, that makes sense. But if Yahoo comes up second, Yahoo can't get annoyed at Google for doing that because Yahoo is not their product. Gmail is their product.
Yeah.
I mean, if people keep using Google, it's just going to get bigger. And people like using Google because it works.
Yeah.
And it's all integrated. They have a whole, like YouTube, everything is in images. They're all integrated into
I mean,
it.
there's nothing stopping consumers right now moving away from Google or YouTube and using other services. There's nothing stopping them. It is people sticking with what they like.
The problem is the other side of that argument is, how does a company like Bing, now that Google is so big, how does Bing become so popular?
Yeah.
Well,
Because
then
they
just
can't
make a product
catch
that's
up.
good.
If you can get a large movement of people, like when Ninja went from Twitch to, what did he move to? Was it Mixer?
Mixer, now Mixer's closed down.
Yeah, but that movement of people, there was a large amount of people that moved platforms. That then shifted the markets very slightly because it was only one streamer. But that large movement of people and followers can sometimes allow you to then break in and not have a massive conglomerate anymore. But you've got to have a product and somebody to lead you to get there. Like, I wouldn't stop
'cause-
watching videos on YouTube unless the YouTubers I watch started uploading on Vimeo.
If everyone
yes.
else started uploading on other platforms, I would move over because it's just what people do.
But people won't because they get the most views on YouTube.
Exactly. But even then, let's say, obviously YouTube being massive, we'll use that for an example, and then other YouTube-like services, they're not nearly as big. You can't then, penalize YouTube for being this big, this good, because they are, for the service it is very good for what it is. I mean, there are obviously bugs and there's things that would be better, many problems with it, I guess, now you think about it. But criticizing a company and penalizing for it. It's just unfair, because then what's the difference of when another company becomes that big? And shouldn't you penalize them? Or should I penalize this smaller company because it's doing better than this even smaller company?
There's loads of... Oh, Dan, go ahead.
I was going to do an epic segue, but you interrupted. I was going to say, talking of penalising people, what about penalising hackers? Leads on to our next topic. So the gamer named Vicstar, part of the Sidemen group, friends with KSI and such forth, has quit Call of Duty
Warzone. I have to ask who
Warzone.
it was.
Harry doesn't know anybody in this kind of space.
I didn't know who this guy was. I had to ask who the Sidemen were. I'm sorry.
But Vicstar
Ben,
has
you
actually...
didn't hear this, but I did.
Vicstar has actually quit Warzone because of the anti-cheat not working and the fact that there are a massive section of cheaters within this new video game, and it's caused quite a lot of interesting talk to occur when it comes to hacking in video games and how anti-cheat should work and that sort of thing.
I mean, hacks in video games should just not really be there, but at least they should be allowed to be used, but not on public servers. You should be able to have your own private server with your friends or something like that if you want to use these hacks, like in GTA.
So I read into this story. Vicstar goes into it because of he's playing professional tournaments at the end of the day. He won Warzone Wednesday, which is like every couple of weeks they do a tournament, and he won it like 3 or 4 times in a row, if I can remember correctly. But he's competing professionally and in the public lobbies, and it's that cheating that gives other people an advantage, because it's disturbing his playing. He can't make the best content he can because of the cheaters. That's what he's saying, basically.
Yeah.
But this
the
shouldn't
whole
be an issue.
Anti-cheat thing, obviously in public servers you should 100% have anti-cheats in, and you shouldn't be allowed to use cheats or hacks on a public server for any game, really. But when they also implement those anti-cheat mechanisms into your private servers, it's a bit unfair, because you're with your friends, you might as you should be able to use it. You're not like you're going to be causing any problems, are you?
No,
unless them leaving it open in a private lobby affects the security of a public lobby, then I would see the
I guess in that case, if it affects the public, then that makes sense.
Yeah.
But overall, you should be able
Warzone
to do
is
what
a
you want.
massive game now, though. That's the thing. Like, it's been out for 6 months, if not longer.
I think it's been out longer. Yeah.
They should have a good anti-cheat by now.
Yeah.
I understand a game at launch
nearly a
when
year
it's
old.
in beta.
Oh god, it
Yeah,
is.
see, it should
Start a lockdown.
It should have a good anti-cheat, because games like that are going to be targets for hacking.
Yeah.
Of course, yeah.
Like, look at what are big games that have come out recently, like Cyberpunk, for example. I know it's not multiplayer yet, but people are still going to target it. It's like GTA. We play a lot of GTA.
And I 100% do not have hacks or anything like that.
People target that a lot. But
the thing is, when I use the hacks, I'm not doing it to annoy anyone. I'm doing it because it's fun, and I'm not disturbing anyone by doing it. I'm just giving myself a fast car, driving around and blowing myself up with it.
Yeah.
I mean,
that's the difference. It's the people that purposely
do it to ruin someone else's day, or they do it to...
I mean, there was that time I joined and
funny.
made myself a mortar and shot you all, but that was funny.
But that was just us at the end of the day. It wasn't.
That was funny.
But, I see the argument, and I see where Vicstar's coming from, because he can choose any game he likes. He's got a massive platform.
Yeah, he could play Minecraft,
He brought so much money towards Warzone as well, because he was publicly streaming Warzone every day for 6 hours.
Damn.
So that obviously brings a lot of people into the game.
And you guys say I have no life when it comes to Star Wars.
Yeah, but he's making money from it, Harry. That's
Harry, you don't make money from your Star Wars video games.
How do you know? I don't.
But no, the whole who makes their game? Is it Activision?
Oh, I think it's Activision that does call it.
Yeah, it's Activision.
Yeah, they should get it under control.
They should.
What we're saying. And it should be sorted before the game comes out, not after.
Yeah, because when Rainbow
But-
Six Siege and stuff came out, BattlEye was built in. Their anti-cheat software. It's always built into the base of a game. It should not be added afterwards. Because
Yeah, makes sense.
yeah,
But like talking about gaming, AMD, obviously they released their Ryzen chips and also the new consoles coming out, and AMD does do
Quickly, before we go off of that,
yeah.
for console gamers, because we might have a few console gamers listening to this, I know
PC
cheating
Master
is a
Race.
lot less likely. Yeah, cheating is a lot less likely to happen on console. We're talking about PC gaming here, just to
because it's
clarify.
better in every way.
Okay, Harry, continue.
So AMD, obviously, they released their whole Ryzen 5000s, which
Yep.
you know, I don't know why they called them 5000 when they didn't bother with.
Yeah,
the
they skipped
4000,
out
but
on
whatever.
4,000.
I don't, we'll pass by that, okay? But also at the same time, I do also believe they make chips for consoles as well. And obviously, there have been stock problems, as we all know. You know, the 5000 not being in stock, and also at the same time, consoles not being in stock. Now, AMD currently uses the, I do believe they're Chinese company, can't quite remember. It's TSMC though, and that's who they currently use for chip manufacturing.
The biggest ever,
They're massive. They are massive. Oh, it might be Taiwan actually. I'm just going to look this up before I make a mistake on this. It is Taiwan, not China. I don't know why I had China in my head. But basically what they're doing is they're looking to spread their chip production over to Samsung, supposedly, because you know they want to sort their stock problems out by June, they say. It's quite a long time to wait. But the only thing I think is going to be a problem is Samsung. It's not whole country thing. Obviously, Samsung being Korean and Taiwan, TSMC. I'm not thinking about country problems, with China and stuff. Nothing like that. But I'm more thinking is I'm pretty sure Samsung makes chips for the NVIDIA RTX series.
Samsung chips
mistaken.
can be found anywhere these days. Like, look in a MacBook, Samsung chips. They're probably in most products at this point.
Yeah, NVIDIA last month in December, 2 months ago, December, it's now February, signed a manufacturing deal with Samsung for 8nm processors that power their RTX 30 series. So if Samsung is then producing RTX cards for NVIDIA, if AMD comes in and go, can we have some manufacturing power, please? They might not give them such a good deal, or they might not accept a deal at all because there might be something in the NVIDIA deal to prevent AMD from being it. Even though the chips are about the CPU, not GPU, but it's the same thing. They're two rival companies. So
But I think
we'll see how it goes.
Samsung have an experience in this before, though, and I know they work both with Apple and Nvidia, and they don't get along. Those two companies, Apple use Ryzen and all that because of their fallout with Nvidia.
That was back in 2015, wasn't it?
Yeah, something like that.
Well, Samsung makes the screens for iPhones as well, so...
Yeah, exactly. I think Samsung's production is very different from the
everyone else.
Samsung products
I mean, they
we're
make
used
tanks.
to.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. They have those separate companies of Samsung. So there's Samsung Production. I don't actually know what the proper name is, but just call it Samsung Production for now.
That is their
and then
new name.
there's Samsung, the public brand that sells phones, fridges,
And
whatever
all the
they
tech
sell.
in between,
And the production and them are very different.
Yeah.
It's the same company overall. Same people own them. But
So there is, oh my word, there's a lot of subsidies. So there is Samsung Group, which is the conglomerate.
Yeah.
Then you have electronics, biologics, life insurance, C&T, fire and marine insurance, SDS, electromechanics, heavy industries, Shirel Worldwide, I don't think I'm pronouncing that correctly, securities, a hotel, Dancor, engineering, sports, machine tools, Beanpole, Digitech, iMarket Career, and Everyland.
So
I don't know what
there's a lot.
so, half of those I have not a clue what they're to do with. But there you go.
the point is,
There is
lots of companies use Samsung for the production of their chips.
It makes sense. They're massive.
The factories that these chips are made in are huge at this point. They're massive workforces making all of these small little chips.
And they make a lot of money too.
Yeah.
In 2017, they had revenue of $211.2 billion.
That's incredibly lucrative.
So we were going to bring this into the GPU shortage, weren't we? So at the moment, some of you might be aware, some of you might not, because I know some people just aren't interested in computers. Graphics cards are very hard to buy.
So they basically watched 40 minutes of tech news for nothing.
Yeah.
At this point.
Yeah, graphics cards for PCs are very difficult to buy at the moment, especially the new ones.
Yeah.
Mostly the new ones.
Yeah, because there's a massive shortage. I know a lot of people want them, but you just can't source them at the end of the day.
Yeah.
For multiple reasons.
It actually happened at work. Someone wanted to basically buy the 3070 when it came out. They were waiting all day for it to come out, but he had to quickly go help in the office for something. I don't remember why, can't remember the exact story. And because he had to go do that, by the time he got back, I'm talking maybe 5-10 minutes he was away from the computer. Bam, they're all sold out. And this was the official launch, and it was gone in moments. And it was just crazy.
I think
I know.
biggest issue with the GPU shortages is GPU scalpers, which are basically bots that are set up
they're the
buy
biggest
the
and the
stock
worst.
and then sell it on for even more. So after the 3070 and 3080 launch, you could find those cards on eBay and stuff for extortionate amounts. For a GPU that cost, 300 to 500 quid at launch, they were selling it for thousands of pounds afterwards.
Yeah, there was someone on Twitter who said that he bought an RTX 3090 for £2,500 or dollars because he wanted it that badly that he was willing to spend that money on it on an eBay one. It's just crazy.
It's nuts.
Scalpers are a massive issue in most areas. Like if you look at
the way to solve this problem with scalpers, though, you can't just solve a scalper problem because obviously it's so hard to crack down. Oh, you're a scalper, I won't sell to you. That's impossible. It'll be logistically impossible to do that. So instead, you have to work as a community on this. Okay, what you do is
this is Harry bringing everybody together.
Yeah, you've got to wait. I'll do what Wallstreet Bets did. Wait and hold. Okay, and do not buy. Instead of Wallstreet Bets, do not buy the ones on eBay. So they're stuck with these cards that they're selling for thousands and they can't sell them on. And they'll go, damn, this is actually a really bad job I've got. And they'll stop doing it. You know,
it
it's
does
like
take a collective
in school where you
that.
said... He does, yeah. It's like in school where the teachers would be like, oh, don't provoke the bully. That's the reaction they're looking for. This is the exact same thing we're doing here. Do not buy from eBay. You're giving them the reaction they want.
Yeah.
Or Gumtree or wherever.
Wherever the scalpers
anywhere you're
sell.
buying them. Only buy from official resellers for the correct price. That is what you should do.
MSRP. Don't spend over MSRP because that doesn't make any sense.
No, it doesn't. Just wait. I mean, unless you, for some reason... for whatever reason you need that card that quickly, like that guy on Twitter spending $2,500, then sure, maybe spend a little bit more from an official retailer, but don't buy from a scalper because you just make it worse because they'll do it again.
Yeah, they will. But it happens. Yeah, scalpers happen all over the place.
I mean, people who buy them for crypto mining are also a problem. I mean, they caused a huge problem with the RX cards a while ago from AMD.
Oh, yeah.
They're not so much a problem nowadays, but they are still a problem. But nowhere near as bad as scalpers, though.
Yeah.
But it doesn't really clock with me because we use pretty decent machines. I know I have an RTX 20 card. Harry is on the AMD side, but has a very good card. It's like, what? Why can't... they should delay the release, or they should get more stock, or delay
until they can
fill the need.
This.
Yeah, because they know how many people want them. But Nvidia and that do it specifically because then they know it raises hype. If you can't get one...
You want one.
You're more likely to look for one and want one.
Yeah,
and
it's I know I
articles.
will not. I probably won't buy an RTX card, 30 series for quite some time. If I ever did, I mean, one.
No, I wouldn't.
Don't. I can't justify the price for it, and I don't need it. I don't have anything I need it for. But when I saw these, going for like stupid prices, I was looking. I was like, oh, I could afford that, or I could get that, or those thoughts going through your head. And there was times where I was wanting to add it to my basket, even though I said to myself, no, there's no point in me buying this. I've got no need for it.
Yeah, it's like me and Dan know somebody in our other Discord. Cool, I will not name names, but they're very set on getting a 3080, mainly because of the whole I've got a 3080.
A bit of a hype.
The flex and the hype.
Yeah.
But like they're like, oh, like we were having an honest conversation with them, and we were like, do you need to spend that much money? Because what are you going to be doing on it?
Like, you could understand if they were a video editor that produced massive projects and needed the render power. But if you're just playing Minecraft on an RTX 3080, you're doing something wrong.
But we need Minecraft ray tracing, though.
No, you don't.
Yeah, but you can get that on my card, a 2070.
But what's funny is when whole don't buy from scalpers thing. Someone else from my work, he wanted to buy the new 5000 series AMD chip. He also wanted to buy the RTX card, but he couldn't do that bit because obviously they were so out of stock. So what he did instead was he ordered from, I think it was Overclockers he bought from. It was a pre-built he ended up buying. He didn't build it himself because he didn't trust himself building it, I think. I don't know exactly. But basically he bought he built the whole PC and then he bought it. And then he waited and he only got it. He bought it as soon as the brand new RX cards came out, the 6800 I think he bought. As soon as they came out, he managed to finally get it a few days before Christmas. And that is like nearly 2 months that he waited or something like that. And he bought it for the correct price. He didn't buy from scalpers. He didn't, funnel money and accidentally get a paper with a picture of the RTX card like some people got. He actually got the product he wanted for the correct price. He just had to wait. And he wasn't too fussed by it. I mean, obviously he was annoyed that he had to wait that long and he was saying, oh, yeah, we've got it in production. Oh, yeah, this. You'll get it before this, that. They were saying all that sort of terrible stuff all the time. But he eventually got it.
Yeah. Patience is key when it comes to getting new products. And I think it can be difficult to wait mentally. Like, you really want to get that new product or whatever. But waiting a bit, seeing what people say, that sort of thing, it pays off in the long term because you end up saving your money and getting a pretty good product for it.
Exactly. Well, I think it is about time we wrap it up here because, before we start another 20-minute ramble.
20-minute ramble on fibre. That'll come next episode.
Fibre. Next episode, we'll talk about fibre.
We'll talk about what the UK government think is quick internet, which really isn't.
It is not quick, it's slow.
Maybe another time.
Thank you for listening to this very interesting podcast. We'll probably do these news ones every Wednesday, and then topics would pick on the Fridays. I do believe is what we talked about. We haven't really discussed an official schedule yet, but that is the idea we're going for. But thank you very much for listening. And
make sure you follow us on Instagram.
Yeah.
Anything Literally Podcast. Let us know what you want us to cover on Friday's topic. We do record these podcasts the day before usually, so we hope it's pretty up to date. So let us know what you want, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, let's finish this awkward close. Bye.